Hey, welcome back to the New Bold Oola Life channel. I'm your host, David Newbold. Today, Ransom and I will be sharing about the blocker of self-sabotage and the accelerator of discipline. We've got some stories that hit close to home for these, so let's get into it.
Let's get bold.
As mentioned, I'm here with Ransom, and we're going to dive into the next blocker and accelerator. Before we start, let me ask you, the viewer, something. Sorry, Ransom, we're ignoring you for a minute. So let me ask you, do you deserve to succeed? And are you worthy of better? If you hesitated to say yes, there's a good chance that today's blocker, self-sabotage, is an issue for you, consciously or unconsciously. A lot about self-sabotage revolves around how you see yourself and your mindset. If you believe you deserve to succeed and are worthy of better, you'll most likely keep marching forward without tripping yourself up. There will likely still be obstacles you have to overcome, but they won't be of your own making. However, if you doubt your worth or capability, there's a good chance you'll do something to sabotage your success, even if you don't mean to. Last week's blocker, laziness, is one of the easiest ways to manifest self-sabotage. So in an earlier episode, I mentioned that I did my master's studies in Japan, and I was fortunate enough to interview a number of people from the Japanese animation industry. What I didn't mention is that procrastination towards analyzing those interviews and writing my thesis nearly caused me to miss the deadline for my thesis. And I'm not as proud of my thesis as I'd like to be. Looking back at why I procrastinated for so long, initially I thought it might have been because I subconsciously wanted to stay in Japan. I consciously wanted to stay in Japan, and I'm looking forward to when I go back. But looking closer, I've realized that's not it. One reason I hesitated so long is because I was afraid that I didn't have the skills necessary to break down and analyze the interviews well enough to pull relevant points from it. I had conducted the interviews in Japanese, and they went exceptionally well, so I had the ability, and I knew the content of the recordings very well, as I was the one conducting the interviews. Yet I still let myself think I didn't have what it took to wade through the interview data. And another reason I've come to realize, and seems absurd from my current perspective, is that I didn't believe my research was academic enough. I was just interviewing people about one of my favorite hobbies, anime. Yes, as a foreigner interviewing production and distribution staff about perceptions of international influence on the production process as part of the international relations program, it makes sense. I was gathering valuable information related to one of Japan's most well-known soft power exports, and I had hoped to use what I learned to boil down the concerns and areas of gratitude so that other people or organizations hoping to support soft power production and growth would have a stronger foundation to begin their efforts. Broken down and analyzed well, the information I gathered could have a real positive impact and contribute quite a bit to the academic discussions on soft power. But at that time, I hadn't really worked through my own thoughts about it, so my mindset wasn't in the right place. Thus, I fell victim to self-sabotage. In the end, I did finish the thesis on time, but it wasn't of a caliber that I'm happy to say is my master's thesis. So, moral of the story, if you find yourself encountering self-sabotage, consider taking a step back and check your mindset around yourself and the things you're working on. Do you feel they're worthy enough to succeed? Do you feel like you are worthy enough to succeed? If not, it might be time to dig through and find what will make you feel or them feel worthy. Okay, now I put a big focus on clear mindset as a counter to self-sabotage, but there are a few other things which can help overcome self-sabotage. One of those is discipline. And with that, it's time to hand things over to Ransom.
Thank you, David. We see the picture playing out here. Army, discipline, Oola bug, cool, calm, relax. maybe counters, right?
Mm.
Oh, but discipline. Oh, this word for me as a youth really used to cause me to cringe, man. It made me want to literally run the other way. Look, it's not because I didn't see the value. It was because the person who first taught me about discipline, my father, used it for a negative experience. When he corrected me as a child for unacceptable behavior, whatever that means, he used this word. He would tell me, I'll use my first name, Daniel, I need to discipline you. Now, look, I didn't get a lot of spanking as a child. That was my brother. He got more of them. But at those times, like when he did it, it was this huge negative psychological experience. He would get out a leather belt and pop it hard. You ready for it? This is what I would experience. Ooh. He'd smack me on the butt. Now, look, guys, it wasn't hard, but it was enough. It stung and made the point. And so I developed this huge complex around this word. So let's fast forward to my later years, and my father wanted to teach me about exercise, teach me about nutrition, and he introduced me to the martial arts. He used this word discipline, describe what it was going to take to be successful in these areas. When I look back at my experience, I realized this word and the association that it caused me, the pain because of that, to enter into these practice for me then became negative. So when I was introduced to Oola and the concept of this being an accelerator, what do you think? I had an almost immediate negative response. The word, I mean, it just triggered me. It wasn't through only this series of personal experiences, getting coaching around these experiences, that I was able to come to realize the word that I associated with pain could now be associated with pleasure. This is where I want to help anybody out there who listens to this episode. I want to help shift your mindset from a potentially negative place around this word to a positive one. I've come now to view discipline as just the beginning stage of success. It is a helping driving force that pulls you to greater things. I like to visualize it being like an actual accelerator on a car. We call it accelerator. We're called an accelerator on a car. So in a car, you push your accelerator in. Fuel is pulled into the motor through a series of tubes and systems. The car takes off. Eventually, as you travel along, you don't have to keep the pedal pushed as hard as you can. There will be times where you would get the car up to the correct speed and the train will allow you just to coast. But you will not stay in the coasting state throughout this entire journey. Sometimes it will require you pushing the accelerator again to get it up to speed. If your car is equipped with cruise control, which most modern cars are, you can use it to help accomplish this acceleration and maintain it with less effort. Keeping with this analogy, you need to have a manual accelerator, which is discipline. But once you get up in your cruising speed, it can become like traveling with cruise control. It will pull you along and doing the work for you. I warn you though, man, you're gonna have to keep your eye on the road and your speed. Beginning your acceleration and allowing it to stop, it puts us back in the beginning, where we have to do a hard acceleration state again, and I've been there multiple times, right? And it demands a hard push until we get up to the accelerated state. But consistently using discipline will lead you to the cruising state where you only need to push the accelerator to start the process. But then you can set the speed control. That sounds much better to me. So here's the challenge for you today. See in which of the 7 key areas, which I'll review, which is fitness, finance, family, field, faith, friends, and fun, where this awesome accelerator could help pull you into greatness. Really, David, that was my moment to shine. It's all yours.
Cool. And actually, that's where we're going to finish today. So let's go to the outro. And that's it this time. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to tap that like button, smash that subscribe button, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. We'll be back next week with the final blocker and accelerator, guilt and gratitude. It should be good, so be sure to check it out. Until next time, remember to seek new challenges, make bold choices, and keep it balanced. Cheers.